I'm gonna talk about in some of the ways that I am weird that doesn't present itself in privacy due to the fact that you have to be around me long enough to get why and how I do this. Um, this is from last night. Example A. Technically speaking, I can reheat it if I want to. I bought this probably about 2.5 hours ago, and I say it like that because it's 3:48 now. Paid for at 156 roughly, and I only know that because the receipt says it somewhere on there. I don't, no, 155. There we go. And then I've just more or less been disassociating, playing with shit, not cleaning my room, and all this and all that. And now I'm finally getting around to the food now. I generally don't know why, but there's multiple reasons and occasions why I would lose my appetite. And I do believe without me being the pothead that I am, I probably generally wouldn't have much of an appetite. Aside from intermediate fasting, which I do believe the main reason why I don't eat as much is because of childhood trauma. We don't have enough food. Why you eat so much food? Why the fuck is she spending money on shit that she doesn't need? Oh, we'll not discuss that. Just blame the kids. Don't blame the real problem. Either way, so now as an adult, I have a lot of issues that I try to work through. That's not your problem. Most of the times you won't see, and most of the times you'll question. Most of the times you'll just label. But it's like, if you have time to listen, find my YouTube. If you don't, well, I don't have time to tell you. Either way, so I do and act the ways that I do because I had an interesting childhood. Easiest way to say it. I didn't know it was trauma. I didn't know I was trauma dumping until people were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's how I kind of temperature check people. Like, if you generally are unbothered by any of the things I say when I talk about my childhood, I realize that you had a similar childhood like mine. You're probably a like-minded monster, regardless if you're aware of it or not. And then there's the people that are just completely turned off and pulled away. And I'm like, oh, y'all had a normal childhood where people loved you, cared about you, coddled you, actually heard you instead of just seeing you. It's like, you're meant to be seen, not heard. So it's just like, wow. I couldn't cause a scene if I wanted to cause a scene because who was I going to tell when you're a child? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's weird. Adults used to listen to me a lot, aside from when it came to snitching on them about shit that they're not supposed to do because what do you know about it? You're supposed to listen to me because I'm your elder. As somebody that has learned, age is just a number, and I don't mean like, oh yeah, she look like, oh yeah. No, what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that have mental issues that don't have the capacity to be able to make decisions for themselves along with other people. Therefore, age is just a number, and some people grow up, and some people mentally age. And for those that get it, they get it, and for those that don't, well, I try to explain it in the best way I can. Can't necessarily apologize for you studying your growth or not wanting to learn. You want to do what you want to do. I want to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is learn a lot of things. What I learned about life is I want to stop learning a lot of things. The more I learn, the more mentally insane I look because of the fact that you refuse to learn anything. Or can't. I don't know. There's multiple reasons why you choose and don't choose, or you thought you didn't choose, but not choosing is still choosing. So choose anyways because you're choosing anyways. I'm just saying a choice is made regardless if you believe you made one. And that's what I've come to learn in life because in one of the instances in my existence, I was dealing with like a type of family situation, not like I am an adopted into family. So now I have a funny idea and I have a funny thought process of what family means to me personally. So I was dealing with this one family and they're like not brother and sister, but sister and sister. And what the whole entire situation was, sister loves the men that she dates. She absolutely loves, adores. She will do anything for the men that she dates. And that sometimes causes a friction between her actual family because the men that she dates could do nothing wrong because I feel like it's another deep-seated, rooted thing inside of her that she does not believe that she deserves good men, so she'll always choose shitty men. In my personal opinion, who am I to say that I'm a good person? That's your guys' judgment. I generally think I'm a bad person that does good shit. That's my honest opinion. So, dude, personally, I got to meet him, learn him a little bit. I've heard some stories in between. I'm like, yeah, no, you generally did choose a shitty person. And from stories that she's told me, from things that I have seen, I'm just like, oh my god. And because of the whole entire, I always wanted to be somebody's hero, and I used to think I could save people. But at the end of the day, it's your job to save yourself. The only thing that you're really going to do by involving other people is either have casualties or maybe people that might help you out, but it's all dependent on what you're willing to do. Because people will ask for help and then drown people around them, and it's just like, why the fuck would you do that? Because misery loves company. That line comes from somewhere. So, back to the point. So she would tell her sister, I'm not going to pick sides. I'm not going to pick sides. Yet still continues to date the dude, fuck the dude, have the dude over, doesn't pay rent, fucking babysat the dude's kid to the point where now she's literally the fucking mother of his kid. Another one, I'm not saying like the kid that he had originally, is still his, but he actually impregnated her because that's what she originally wanted because she is crazy. Easiest way to explain it. So am I, but like I'm not crazy enough to impregnate someone thinking a baby's gonna make them love me, care for me, be with me. I am an orphan raised by a bunch of people that agreed to love me but don't know what love means, so therefore I learn things that other people will never learn. in ways that other people never learn. And the lessons that I learned, I believe if it's done the hard way, I'm going to remember it better compared if it's done the soft way. Like, oh, I went to class, I learned. No, I needed my ass beat. I need a fucking scar. I need to fucking almost die. I need to almost get deported. I don't need to see God. I need to see Satan. I need to see a demon. I need to see something for me to remember the lesson 9 times out of 10. So therefore, going to school, they tried to indoctrinate me, but most of the shit was boring. So it worked a little bit. I'll admit to that because like I have biases clearly, but either way, a shitty person is a shitty person, a good person is a good person. There's a lot of mixes in between. It's not black and white, but people want to think like that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I try not to, sometimes this, sometimes that. But either way, that's the point. Notice how I've been speaking for 5 minutes and not once really did shit with my food. Yeah, I don't know. I generally believe the only reason why I eat as much as I do is because of weed, because it's still that childhood issue with we don't have enough, we don't have enough. I am currently in a basement living with 3 to 4 other people because of the roommate issue. Not necessarily an issue, it's just the way I word it. The roommate situation, because I prefer that than whatever type of foster child home, adopted home, whatever chaos I grew up in. And plus, there was no home after. Realistically, there was no home after 2016. Even though I stayed with them until roughly about 2024, until 2024, 2023, until my mental health took like a big enough that I actually went to the psych ward, not for my will. It's, oh, you either go or you're court ordered. And then I was like, so you're telling me either I go by your wishes or I go by the judge's wishes, but what you're telling me is I don't have an option not to go whatsoever. And she's like, exactly, Ethan. I'm like, how the fuck is that an option? And that's basically life in existence all the way. You either get abused and vocalize that, or you get abused and shut the fuck up and everybody just thinks they were nice to you the whole entire way. And that's life in a nutshell, in my opinion. I don't really know. Everybody's got their own different quirks, all this, all that. This is just from the scene where it's more aggressive, more dark, more like, that's not real. Ask somebody that's lived in the real world. Don't ask somebody that's had money. Don't ask somebody that could always ask a friend, ask a mom, ask a dad, ask a sister, ask a brother. Ask somebody that can't ask anyone without having to be charged for it. I don't necessarily always need to be charged for it. I think because of my kindness, my beauty, and my patience as well as education, more people are more tolerant of me because I'm not poor and stupid and hard to deal with. I'm just financially disadvantaged, cute, easy to communicate with, but very socially, it's not in depth. Maybe it is. No, very socially disabled, I guess. And what I'm saying by that is there's a lot of social cues I don't really get. Just because you looked at me, just because you smiled at me, just, I love your uniform. I didn't realize companies allowed you to wear whatever the fuck you wanted to, but you're still A-okay for me. Like, well, how do I give you a good review? Because I realize corporate America only cares about the 5 stars, the 10 stars, the highest stars you can get. I will give it to you because I think you're doing great. What do you mean you're trying to screw? What do you mean you're trying to build with me? What do you mean you actually love me? What do you mean I've been lied to so often? This shit confuses me. I need to see some things when you say these things because it's easy to speak, especially if it's cheap. You're not a lawyer. You're not a judge. You're not a doctor, so there's no charge to your consultation. So I'm confused what you mean when you say these things. Why are you mean when you say these things? Why are you trying to string me onto your games? The most heartless thing I will do is I'll smile at you and continue. What? Just because I smile doesn't mean I want to interact with you. I'm just showing you I have teeth too. It doesn't mean I'm not going to bite into you. I'm just showing you I have teeth too. Some of the monsters have some of the nicest teeth, some of the nicest clothes, some of the nicest cars, but some of the rudest people I've ever met. I know not what I know, and I do know what I do know. Until I do know, well, what's this for? All this about my appetite being weird, and there's many more weird things about me, but that's just maybe. After I do my adult contemporary stuff, I will eat this and clean my room. Another thing I dislike to do, I'm pretty sure I've talked to you, or some versions of you at some point or another why I don't like my room. And there's a lot of things that point to this, and there's a lot of things that point to that. But if you're not educated well enough, and I try to educate myself well enough, but you can't believe everything that you read on the internet. You can't believe everything you read in the book, but you can't believe everything people tell you. You can't believe anything. Supposedly, if you listen to all those that say those things, it's how I try to learn what is real and what it isn't is what continuously reoccurs 9 times out of 10. But as a delusional, crazy person, I might always see that craziness. But oh yeah, one of the things that actually struck me now on this topic, I was at a customer's house once. I have so many customers. I was at a customer's house. We were doing like, I want to say like decluttering stuff, and when we went to gather payment, I do remember going through the house, reorganizing some stuff. We were there for probably about 2 hours, and what threw me off is I was standing in front of her as she was getting stuff ready for payment. She was on the phone with her sister and stuff like that, and I read a sign next to her. I'm just like, huh, that's funny. I didn't realize I was there the whole entire time, or I just saw it when I needed to. And she piped up and said, "You saw it when you needed to." I'm like, ah, ah, ah. And then like, well, you might not know, but like I know, I get these weird feelings, and I don't know how to explain it aside from like it feels like bugs are crawling all over my skin. That's how I kind of figure out how I read energy. It feels like something just like, okay, the closest thing I could do is just lightly put your fingertips on your forearms, kind of like run it up like this, and that's basically how the energy feels. 9 times out of 10 to me. But I can't guarantee that even if you do what I just did, you'll get the same feeling. So therefore, I'm trying to explain to the best of my ability. But also, I had realized I'm working with you, whoever you may be. You might not have the same exact things that I do. So therefore, I'm just a madman speaking my things. Until I'm not. The only difference between a crazy person, smart person, and an idiot are results. I'll tell you the truth, but I'm also very well aware. What once was true can become a lie depending on what I'm telling you. So therefore, I do my best to be honest. But in all honesty, it's hard to be. An honest person in a deceitful world, deceitful reality, deceitful people, and I don't want the truth around me, but I need more mentally disabled, like autistically, not BPD, not narcissistic. I see that antisocial personality leaking out of you, not like bratty mood, only pay attention to me. I need people more like me, but I feel like we'd kill each other, honestly. So maybe that's why I stick to myself. It seems more simple to me. I can entertain or I can just sit and see. Alright, time for me to blow down some trees and hopefully